What's up? How's it? Aloha. Welcome to Culturize. This is the space where we talk, we share, we learn culture. I'm sitting with, we got to get right into it because we don't want to waste time, Tony Silva, James Roche, the Braddahs.
Yeah,
wow, he's crying.
Yeah. He's on Braddahs too, man. He's on Braddahs too. This guy.
Very nice of you.
I'm emotional, and that's part of laughter as well.
Makani, no lie, you get in the makeup in your face. You know. I was wondering where was my makeup artist, and I was very perturbed that I did not receive any makeup or lip gloss or anything of that nature.
You know what makeup reminds me of, though?
What is it?
Our time on the stage.
Ooh,
right?
Ooh,
but
good.
We want to get into that. First of all, we want to find out, Tony Silva, where'd you grow up in high school you went to?
Well, before I get into where we grew up, we got to say thank you very much for having us because we understand, I guess, Frank De Lima couldn't make it, right? Augie couldn't make it, right? Tumo couldn't make it.
And
Kaleo made it. Kaleo made it.
And
so
everyone in Saipan and Guam couldn't make it.
So finally, we made it.
We made it.
Thank you.
Your manager, whoever your manager was like, oh, you know,
Yeah, that's him.
the Culturize podcast? No. When they have time, we'll figure it out. When they have time.
So we come bearing gifts, made this fresh plumeria lei. I realize you all the way across the other side of the table, for social distancing. So I give this lei to you. Yeah.
Yeah, and we also give you a little bit cookies from the cookie company, but we cannot say what name of the cookie company.
We cannot say what name. Yeah.
You know what I
So,
mean?
and that's the hard part.
Oh.
I know you guys got a lot of these, but you didn't get it from the Culturize podcast.
See that? It matches the ring.
Mahalo.
See,
Mahalo.
you know? And thus the phrase, hey, no get nuts.
No get nuts.
No get nuts. Hey.
And at one time, I used to have that on my truck. Mahalo, you guys, for being here. Seriously.
Yeah. I don't think I've seen anybody get the lace, bro. We got the lace.
I haven't had a plumeria in
See,
a while.
Yeah.
You know, and only 4 of the flowers were picked off of the ground. Yeah, the rest, otherwise we were picking them
from the tree.
And did you get yelled at? Why
We
did
asked,
you get my
no,
house?
you asked permission.
There you go. You see?
You gotta ask permission.
That's part of the culture.
Absolutely.
Speaking
What?
of
Can,
can.
or no can.
And there's always one that says no can. It's like, just let them fall on the ground.
Right?
But speaking of making lays, did you learn how to make it? You went high school,
Haula.
Kamehameha school.
No, I grew up in Haula in the countryside, so that's where a lot of the Polynesian influence with the Braddahs. I mean, it comes to life.
Absolutely.
Haula Elementary, you know, where you swim inside of dirty water, like you wouldn't even think twice.
Right.
You talk about a vaccine.
Right.
Didn't have leptospirosis.
That's jacuzzi.
Rah, jacuzzi.
Boy,
man.
just when rain, get out the water. No, man, no worries. A little bit fresh.
But wait, you did you drive to Kamehameha or were you a boarder?
No, I didn't get into much later, 9th grade. Yeah.
Oh, okay, so you through high school.
I got into the back door.
Mean.
Late comer, bro. He was
Mean.
late comer.
Aleva Heights back gate.
Back gate.
Mean.
There you go.
So-
Finally got in. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And from there it was pretty easy. Catch the school bus. Yeah.
All the way from, wow.
Yeah.
High school. Where'd you grow up in high school?
Yeah, well, I was growing up in Waipahu, but I would have to make the bus voyage on the bus 54, transfer the 12 to the Nu'uanu and go all the way up to Hawaii Baptist.
Wow. You know, in fact, Eric Yamashita was here. You guys went to school. right?
Absolutely.
He was-
I used to catch ride with Eric and his father, who's now a pastor, before when he was a detective, to go to his chiropractic. Yeah, we used to go for chiropractic there. We would drive all the way, and I would just be so thankful that I would just almost get to Waipahu because we had to go up Mililani. Yeah,
Just to get to school.
just to go to chiropractic.
What was so? I'm assuming maybe that's the key. Maybe you live somewhere specifically, but you go to a school far away. That's pretty. Both of you. That's a far away place you have to go.
Yeah, for sure.
But education is paramount.
Yeah.
Education was paramount, and the fact that I got to get out of Waipahu and across Navarrete store and across the auntie selling the vegetable and smoking the Toskagi cigar. Boy, you like vegetable.
How was that from Waipahu then going to Hawaii Baptist?
Yeah.
Culture shock.
Nah, no culture shock, bro. It's just the ride, and
Yeah.
you would just tell it, hey, Mr. Bus Driver, what? You can let me out? No, and I gotta get off the 12. And then boom, you get off right into Hotel Street at 5:30, and then when Big Mahu 6'4" with all the 5 o'clock shadow tube top dove shots and the clickety clackety slippers going, oh, what are you?
Wow.
And then chase you down and then laugh as you're running away, and you're really running away fast. Yeah.
What Kamehameha school bus? You come.
Kamehameha school bus, no problem, getting on. Even though I never have the pass, I just make like I get them.
Free gas. Bruh, they even give you chocolate milk on the ride.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Nah, that was no
Private
problem.
school bus, city bus. Both of you growing up in Waipahu was country at the time. Yeah?
No, my pahu was like, wow, you're poor.
But did you feel that way? I mean, did you know at the time?
Yeah,
Did you know?
absolutely. And that's why I needed to have an education for me to be able to improve my living situation.
Ethnic backgrounds, Tony.
Portuguese, Hawaiian, Chinese, Irish.
Wow.
But we were poor and didn't know we were poor in Haula, and then we would camp for 3 months and then move to a different house
Wow.
after that summer.
Wow.
And then move to another house. And the next summer, I wondering why we keep moving every year and moving. It's because we were homeless for those 3 months. My mom kept the welfare money.
See, I always think that's
For food.
For food.
For food.
Yeah.
That was back in the day when you used to get the food stamps and the booklets.
That's right.
20, the 5, and the 1. And then if you took the dollar bill and then you went into one Delight Bakery, you could buy 25 cents gum and get 75 cents change.
If you're joining us, we're sitting with the Braddahs right now. We're going into the culture
good right there.
in comedy right here in Culturized. Bringing you what matters. Viewers can receive the Star Advertiser Digital Full Access subscription for just $9.95 per month. Go to staradvertiser.com and click on subscribe. Use the code AHIGHTHING. Aloha Termite and Pest Control, your local and leading pest and termite control solution in the state. Always providing you superior service with Aloha. You're joining us. Culturized is happening right now. We're talking about not the culture of comedy, but the culture in comedy. And the two gentlemen sitting in front of me, Tony Silva, James Roche, I truly believe they have figured out the formula to find the culture in comedy. But we're talking about ethnicities. We talked about Tony, James, ethnicity.
Back in the day, straight down the pipe, 50-50, Filipino, Italian.
Mean.
Little bit Chihuahua. Little bit Chihuahua.
More Pekingese, you know what I mean? Or
snuck in there.
Pomeranian, you know what I mean?
Growing up for both of you, what was it more? What ethnicity, or was it just strictly local culture that you grew up in? Like, was it a little bit more Hawaiian, a little bit more Filipino, a little bit more Italian? What did you guys get in the house?
I definitely had a dose of everything.
Nice.
Everything. Because I ended up in Waipahu, so the likes that we would cross paths.
You see?
You know what I mean? And then learn the Filipino side, the Haole side, and just, take in the culture that is Hawaii, the mixture.
See, for me, it was straight Filipino because my grandmother would be the babysitter, and even before the Aloha Stadium was built, she would live right there at the Halava Estate.
No way.
Absolutely. So as a young boy, I got to see outside the window as the stadium was being built, and I said, one day I'll go and play in that stadium. And then I would walk outside, and then boom, oh, Grandma, what you cooking? And then you see the fish with the tail hanging out and with the outer head hanging out in the inside part going like that. And then she take the eye and she suck up.
That is Filipino.
Grandma, what you doing? Boy, I'm eating the eyeball. Boy, you like taste? No, Grandma, I don't like taste. Oh, you're not Filipino. You're Haole.
Kamehameha School, Hawaii Baptist. How did this happen?
Pac 5.
Pac 5, Kamehameha, you know what I mean?
We
was
bang
both
heads.
Offense. He was offense. We look at each other like that. Right?
No way.
Because Tony and I were it was a little bit different for us because we were already in show business. So at a very young age, we were already not only in school, not only in sports, but we were in entertainment.
Right.
Getting some money, a little bit, little scratch on the side. So, we would catch a little bit
Mechanical
grief for
masters for me.
And then
James
I was on the
doing
McInerney high board.
Thanks for bringing that up, because I was just gonna say, now, both of you, I've always, not that you guys are way older, but there was always looked up to you guys for different things, right? So you guys met in high school. The Braddahs entertaining audiences 20 plus years, but this entertainment has gone further, right? I remember, speaking of mechanical masters, I could never pop, I could never break, I two left feet when it came to any other dance. And we Castle Park, Break in Hawaii,
right?
And we used to see the mechanical masters. Yeah. And you guys were the top of the chain as far as dance went.
Maybe.
No, he was.
No,
Yeah,
I
him
mean,
in
we're
the little
talking
mini
white gloves
the
and-
little mini ponytail.
Don't forget the dye hair.
Yeah,
You know,
dye
you gotta
hair.
dye the hair.
The white gloves.
Peroxide.
Yeah.
And then if not for James Roche, I would have not got into the Honolulu or the Oahu stage. Magic of Polynesia.
Right.
I remember you.
And then he was doing theater too. He was already impersonating people in high school. Likewise with me.
You know what? I was already working on before the original Magnum, and then it tapered into Jake and the Fat Man, and then Jake and the Fat Man allowed me, John Flynn III. He was the director of photography, and I guess the show was moving back to Los Angeles, and I had made mention. I said, "Hey, I'd like to come to Los Angeles if you guys need or have a spot for Joe Penny stand-in." And he said, "What? Local boy, you want to come out to Hollywood? All right, pack your bags. You're coming with us." So, and I got to go to Hollywood. I got to have a parking pass at Universal. I got to shoot on the second unit. I got to be a photo double. I got to do some of the minor stunts. So I really learned production and where it is that you could be utilized.
So a lot of people don't know, stage-wise, performance-wise, entertainment-wise. You guys know the back, the front, everything. I mean, I remember, of course, Mechanical Masters, the Body Shop.
Right? Hey, that's when Levi's 501 Blues, those jeans were coming out, and they wanted to have a local presence. So they had this casting call, and this and that, and I was hoping and praying. And they called the Waipahu House, and then they said, would you care to be the Body Shop guy? A lot of guys get it mixed up with Kramer's. Yeah, I was not
Exactly.
Kramer's. He was Kramer's.
We're talking pre-Braddahs right here on Culturized. We're talking pre-Braddahs, we're talking future Braddahs, but how they met in high school. You may not know, but they've been entertaining far longer than the Braddahs got together. But we were on a stage at Magic of Polynesia, but you guys were actually, like I said, I always looked up to you guys because you were actually even entertaining before that on stage with Uncle Don.
Yeah.
Uncle Don Ho. I mean, I remember you guys using white spandex.
Right?
This is true. Very tight white spandex.
The funny thing is Tony was a key member within the dance troupe already. Yeah, I mean, even so much so that even his sister, his younger sister Tanya, was one of the dancers. And I had been coming back from Los Angeles. The show wrapped up, and I was looking for some work. So I was at the Punahou Spa, and then what is Brother's name? How are you, James? Danny Couch. Danny Couch seen me working out, this and that, yada yada, and I think Eric Fernandez was there as well. And then he said, "Hey, bro, maybe this and that, the downhole show, yada yada." I said, "Okay, I'll come down and see what's up." I come down over there. Paul Hano was the line captain at the time.
Names are coming out.
And you had to go through the whole interview process. But more than the interview process, you had to be accepted by the main faction of boys. And then without it being known, he was the head honcho, and I would kind of peruse through the room to see who was the guy. And then T. Silva, number 84, 85 grad, wide receiver. Oh, I know this guy. Long story short, this, that, the other thing. They gave me one little tryout. And then,
he
I
made
just,
him.
he
was good enough.
I like. So, he made them.
Yeah, he made the cut.
Made the
But
cut.
the cool thing was when we got together, he said, "Man, you come on this side or the acting side." Or kind of delving in a little bit. He said, "Nah, try me. There's this modeling side. So you got production, acting, modeling, voiceover, and we just delved into everything. But our first modeling pose goes like this."
With ripped jeans, bro. With ripped jeans, bro.
Acid wash.
With ripped jeans, bro.
That's no joke. That's no
jeans,
joke.
bro. Was it girl jeans yet, bro?
That
I
was
said silver. You You're
We
good
look-
looking enough that you can turn that into coupe.
Yeah.
That's
But that
money.
shot looked like we was lovers from the
Hey,
so
hey,
serious.
Who has
now.
that?
Oh,
I
we
get
got
it,
it.
I
We
get
got
it.
it.
You got it, we got
We
it.
don't bring it out that
Why?
often. Yeah,
Can you send it to Michelle, please?
Absolutely.
Send that picture to Michelle.
Absolutely.
Because you know right now,
You can scream. You can scream.
Did that start?
that started the chemistry.
You know, the thing is with modeling, you got to just strike a pose and you can say nothing. And, between the two of us, we got something to say.
It's that awkward
So
silence.
I said, look, the modeling only going to get you so far because you
For
can
so
be able
long.
to do commercial print, you're doing catalog, you can network. Where you really need to get where the money is where the production is. And at that time was Magnum. At that time, then the thing would move to Jake and the Fat Man. Then the thing would move to a pilot, Richard Grieco, called the...
Marker.
Marker. That's right.
Marker. So, one of the production assistants asks me, hey, is there somebody about your height, maybe about that could show up on a daily basis that would be able to take direction? I said, absolutely. Let me go call my friend. Boom. Next thing you know, he comes on the set. Next thing you know, we're wrestling on the side, causing one little thing.
We're working
Next
on
thing you know,
some moves.
Auntie tells me, oh, I saw the dailies the other day. You were driving like Richard Grieco. Oh, you're good. Just a little bit more buffer. I said, Auntie, no say that kind of stuff. 1 week later, he would replace me. No, that's for real. I said that's for real.
He got fired.
Yeah, I got fired.
I took his job.
I got fired. And then they would
True
call
story.
me back 1 week later and they said, bro, we cannot find anybody to match the double. And to be able to do this, you can just do second unit on the side and be shh. I said, absolutely. What's the rate?
Was it back then? All you guys were just dancing show and then doing productions.
Wherever we could, bro. Wherever
See,
we could. Bro.
Young dancers today always say that don't stay on the stage, but look for other work elsewhere. Was it difficult doing that? Productions,
No,
big productions
we-
on stage.
We were already into it, so that was our day job. The nighttime supplemented that.
Yeah,
we
yeah.
could
Makes
work it
sense,
out. But
makes sense.
I mean, when he wanted to start the Braddahs, when he comes knocking on my door in Kapolei, going, yeah, man, we talked about doing this thing for about 5-10 years. We're now 30 now. That's pretty late.
So that knock on the door, James asked you, Tony. I got this.
Well, what
idea.
had happened was, there was a revolt at the at Magic of Polynesia where the water used to fill. And we
4
said,
minutes. We got 4 minutes.
hey, we're not going to dance. I said, okay, more power to the dancers. Let's not dance. Long story short, the line captain, Cheryl, comes in and says, hey, you guys got to get back to work contractually. You
That's
guys
right.
got to get paid. And then
right.
everybody went back in. I said, ole, I'm going down the hotel street and work down with Alex Pellin and go work down at the
liquor store.
No, at the gaming store. You know what I mean? Esther's. You know what I mean? Press the button when you see the popo.
Magic of Polynesia. I remember because at the time we wanted to. I don't know why we wanted to strike, but like you said,
Because the water was running in the
that's
dome
right.
and was all pilau.
if you guys never been to the Hilton Hawaiian Village Dome showroom, it was an OSHA nightmare.
Yeah, it was an ocean nightmare, but you could just, you had splinters on the stage. But long story short, so I went, I recessed myself, and then boom, couple years went by, couple months and whatnot. Next thing you know, I was involved with some music and a music studio, and Lanai and Augie had asked, hey, can we do some little limerick bits, et cetera, et cetera? I said, sure, why not? Let's put these things together. Next thing you know, I'm calling Silva to bring these things to light. So I had some music parodies already ready, and I said, if we could implement some story right here and do a little character, and then we go into the music, and then we go out of the music into another character set. I said, bruh.
That's the formula.
Yeah, we started tapping the vein.
That's how the impersonation started. And when we done, I was with him for about 10 years then.
Absolutely.
And next thing you know, I remember you. Long after
And then, boom, we just all the things from our childhood just came to life.
And thus was spawned the CD Small Kid Time.
That was the first.
That was it.
That was the first.
You know, and we wanted to kind of coattail off of what Raps had already done, because it was more theater of the mind. And as Raps would do his voices and his rap would do, just verbally, you know what I mean? You'd have to sit there and then you'd have to actually remember and reminisce. So, to bring it from where Raps was, because he was first, then the Braddahs had next.
Because there was a gap for a while.
There was a big gap.
Yeah.
There's a really big gap with just local comedy.
But we knew we wanted to put it on television.
Absolutely.
But what impresses me is your guys' kilo skills, your observation skills, because you can take a culture and look at the funny part of the culture, even the serious part of the culture. I remember we were practicing what it was at the Magic, and fiti fiti hey ha was a line that we had, and all of a sudden I'm watching this video and these two Samoan characters. I was like, fiti fiti and hey ha.
Yeah,
Based off of real people.
Well, fiti fiti and hey ha comes from one of the chants. Hey, Sully, feet. Hey, fiti. Hey, I'm so good. Why don't you call me 2 times? Fiti fiti. And my brother is hey ha. Hey ha.
Favorite character to play?
Number 1 is Don Ho, because that was the first character that I ever did, and then Fiti Fiti and Hey Ha.
Wow. Yeah. How many different cultures do you guys cover in the Braddahs?
All of them.
I think
them.
there's no ethnic.
There's not
group
one
that you
particular
don't
one
do.
where she gonna pop.
Everything.
People may have their favorites, but it's all it's eclectic. It's a combination of, because without the Japanese, there's no Filipino, there's no Chinese, there's no Haole, there's no Portuguese, there's no Puerto Rican, there's no et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
We're sitting with the Braddahs. We're talking about culture in comedy. If you want to, we're going to be talking for the next 2 hours. So go to the extended version on YouTube. Ask questions to the Braddahs right now. This is Culturized. Thank you guys so much for being here. We're going to head over to YouTube. Thank everybody for joining us. I know
That fast.
I'm telling you, 2 hours extended version on YouTube.
We need to call Leanne and say we need 1 hour for the Braddahs. That's what we need to do. Can we call Lanai right now and tell him to ask her to tell Ruben to ask her to ask us?
Tony Silva, James O'Shea, the Braddahs. This is Culturized. If you're joining us, man, thank you so much for coming over for the extended version on the YouTube. Yes.
Podcast.
Extensions. You get an extensions are key, bro.
Isn't it weird? So thank you very much for joining us on YouTube. Culturized.com is the website. We are talking culture in comedy with the Braddahs. I truly believe they have found the formula to bring everybody together through laughter. And not only laughter, but education. But we're talking about all the different cultures that you guys portray and you guys cover. Came up with this thought. Has Uncle Don ever seen you?
Oh, many times.
No,
Loved
yeah?
it. Loved it. Yeah.
Wow.
It wasn't for his blessing, I would have never done it. Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, for sure.
And the funny thing is with the culture, comedy, is brought forth by the stereotypes. Okay, stereotypes are key in this. Okay, because in nowadays, sometimes you're, I'm offended. Well, how could you say that? I'm very upset about that. Nothing is directed to one particular individual. It's spread out because stereotype. That's where the comedy is. Yeah. That's where the funny is. You don't need to particularly say something funny, but how you say it. Because did I say something? I say nothing, but that one is very funny.
Yeah, I think people get that really. If we can make fun of ourselves, then we don't have any right to make fun of any one culture, so to speak. So we don't, you know what I mean?
See, and thus the hapa, hapa haole. Haole, in the layman would be, people would just basically say, oh, that's Caucasian. Okay, haole is not the color of your skin. It's the frame of your mind.
Right.
Okay, I'm haole. He's
I'm
haole.
haole.
You're Howley.
right.
Okay.
Yeah.
But now, where is it and how is it that we present this? Okay.
Yeah.
So if somebody calls you Howley, that's not offensive. Okay. If they use the F word in front of it, then it's
That's a whole
offensive.
different thing. Exactly.
So we just gotta stay away from that.
30 years of the Braddahs. Okay, so speaking of people's mentality, 30 years of the Braddahs, do you guys see or even notice hypersensitivity from the first time you guys started? And is there people that do? Like they're like, oh, you guys doing that for? I mean,
Just within the last,
5 years.
Wow.
You know,
if that maybe. Yeah.
Tony and I used to go down Pocket Park before time we used to have games, and everybody knows who plays down at Pocket Park. And if you don't know, then you better ask somebody. But what used to happen is when I would get finished working right at the studio, I would already have my action already in my car. Go down over there because I knew they was gonna have pickup games. Hey Clancy! Hey man, can I borrow $5, man? Hey Clancy! Hey Rock, what's happening, Easy?
Clancy.
Then I said for real name. Hey Bobby, I need 20. Hey man, Clancy, come on man, we gotta get this game going on. Man, hang on man, let me just go handle this for a second. Long story short, we go over there and we would play pickup games. Why? Because where would you ever get a chance to play with anybody from Georgia, Florida, North Carolina?
True.
I mean, these guys would come from everywhere. Outstanding athletes. And, you know, it was kind of like a little bit like a Hawaii Rucker Park is everything. So, you know, Tony and I did an episode where I did brownface and some other stuff, but, you know, it wasn't done to demean. It was done so that the people can really understand what it was that we saw. And that's what Tony and I are about. You know, if we can make you believe that I'm pure Filipino, then now you're not looking at me as James, you're looking me as a character. If I can make him dress him up, and he can do the Chinese guy, but seriously, he's Portuguese Hawaiian, but for now, you see he's Chinese. You're not gonna see Tony. You're going to see the Chinese part of the culture, you know, the pake.
and I think you guys have figured out the formula. People get so hypersensitive, knee-jerk reaction when somebody else talks about another culture, but I truly think everybody needs to watch an episode of The Braddahs, not just locally in Hawaii, but everywhere, because you guys have figured out the formula. What culture do you think, in you guys' opinion, is the funniest? Not to portray, but just in general.
Filipinos, bro. Filipinos, they love to laugh. Filipinos, they love to eat.
I used to love that. That's why the Chinese character Kung Fu Theater. I mean, we grew up watching that.
Right.
So the one that always used to get beat up with the water jugs. And that's how I came up with that most. Why are you always hitting me? Like, so irritating. But that resounded in my mind for years. And so when we finally did it, was like.
So we'll sit down in the brainstorming session and we'll say, okay, all right, who haven't we seen or who haven't we highlighted recently? Oh, okay, well, let's, we did this character, this character, this character. Okay, well, why don't we do Fu Ling Yu in Chinatown, and then he can meet Pimp Daddy Upgrade.
Yeah.
So now you got
complete opposites.
Upgrade. You got Upgrade from wherever he's at, man, because you know he's a baller, man. He's a straight charge.
Pimp Daddy
baller.
Upgrade? Would you like to pick a Manapua?
Hey, man, what's up with that Manapua, man? Hey.
What? I see. I'm laughing even harder because I used to see these things backstage at Magic.
Yeah.
A session, a creative session. Is it just you two?
For the most part.
For the most part, but then somebody got to come in and chime in. Hey, man,
we might have somebody sit
bro.
in to see if it's funny.
Wow.
Hey, bro, you know what you should do?
We think it's funny, but you got to try it out, right?
Everybody watches the outtakes at the end of the show, which is maybe about 60 seconds.
Nah, sometimes
it's a whole show.
Sometimes it could be
can
3
be.
minutes. Sometimes
Yeah,
it could
can
be
be.
4 minutes. Sometimes it could be no minutes.
To shoot, you guys are what, an hour? How long?
hour.
Half hour. How long does it take to shoot one episode fresh episode of the Braddahs with as creative as you guys are?
Maybe like 2 days.
Wow.
Maybe even a day. Depends if you're in a roll. If you're in a roll and it's just Tony and myself, and we've kind of done the production up until that point where we can just boom get straight into it. We should be able to get some minutes, but
2 to 3 days on
Wow.
solid.
sometimes you bring in a Greg Hammer, or you bring in a Kaleo Pilanka, or you bring they're the unfriends part. That's where the unknown is going to happen.
Tell them how long it take to edit one episode.
That was
Yeah. Well, you have to, the fact is that we don't have a script supervisor, right? There's no script supervisor.
You don't have a Michelle.
Right? Okay, so what needs
60.
to happen is
60 hours.
You need to glean through the footage. So I already know what is inside my head, but now I gotta bring it down to a format of,
hours.
this first bit is 2 minutes. This bit gonna be 4.5. This, we don't want to take it over 5 minutes.
Right.
I got critiqued from Lalai Tabura one time. He was telling me, "Hey, bro, it was 7 minutes, bro. It's a little bit too long, bro." I said, "Bro, we have to get to the end of the bit. Sometimes bits are longer, sometimes bits are shorter, but for everybody, the bugger she run about 4.5, 5 minutes. That'll be good, in a TRT of 22:30,
Tell them what TRT is.
I was just going to say, all the production guys are like,
Total running time, you have X, and then you have your sponsors. So predicated on how many sponsors you have will determine how lengthy the breaks are, right? So that's when we have the outtakes. The outtakes is the little bit of the accordion to be able to help facilitate the
And
whole
people
show.
just thought the Braddahs was just on screen.
Right.
You guys are behind the camera in the editing bay. You're basically a full-on self-sufficient production company.
Absolutely.
The star, the editor, the cameraman, the producer. I mean, you guys have a crew, but you guys have also made people famous. Other people, like you said, it's the Braddahs and friends.
And
Correct.
friends, absolutely.
First guy I think of, Eric Fernandez.
What
What was his? He was your alakai.
He was Kumula Alakai.
For Kumu.
No, he was the
Who was he?
Had Greg Hammer. Greg Hammer was the Kumu, and then Keoki was the Kumu, and then Silva,
Kakeo was his Alakai.
and then Eric was.
Kamaka. In fact, speaking of Fernandez, Kamaka Fernandez, first time on our show.
No way.
Yeah, his first song out in the public. Nobody really knew, right? This Hawaiian Popolo guy.
Yeah.
Like, what is going on?
And we had Dan over there in Manoa Forest because that's where he goes, right?
That's right.
And all of a sudden, he get one Kamaka ukulele for Kamaka, right? Next thing you know, he said, "Here, play this." And then when this Popolo brother went shalang, bruh, was just magique.
Everybody was, where's this kid from?
Where's this guy?
Right?
Where's this guy
Right?
from? Yeah.
And see, he gets it too, bro. He gets it. So, I think, I hope that I could share this. I think he was adopted.
Yeah.
Hanai.
Oh, yeah.
Right. On
And,
Maui, right?
Right,
Yeah.
on Maui. And, he was Hanai'd by one Hawaiian family. And then his musical nature that was just already in him was just pulled out by this. And look how many years of music now he's been
How
doing.
long ago was that on the show?
22 years ago.
So
Years.
there's Kamaka Keha Fernandez, Eric, Greg Hammer, Kaleo Pilanka, and friends. You've created characters for all these people. Anybody else that we're missing?
Misty Kelai.
Oh, yeah.
She had been on Melka Bang. Wow. I mean, these guys all had their careers.
Yeah.
We just invited them to come on. Frank De Lima.
Just on platform, it's a platform to be able to showcase, and then which comes back to the culture. Because back in the days of plantation style and back in the days when the immigrants came, it was the integration of the cultures that would be the entertainment for people within the community. And the community I'm talking was loose, brother. We're talking dirt and couple shack houses and you know what I mean, was camping, bro. Was camping.
How'd you guys make the transition yes, we did stage luau shows, production shows. The Braddahs came about, and it was a TV show. Tony was like, I want to put this on TV. When did it go to the stage? Because you guys do live shows.
We started out the live shows.
Oh, you started live.
Like 10, 50. I think our very first performance was at a high school dance. Compliments. Who said?
Sacred Hearts.
One of the brown
faceless.
skin.
Oh, that's right.
They invited us.
They said, hey, what, you like do 5 minutes?
5 minutes.
Something.
No, not even 5 minutes. Maybe 3 minutes.
What intro?
What did you guys? What did you guys do?
It was father and son, Bully and Bush.
Bully and Bush.
And we never really have anything.
Can you say crickets?
Crickets?
Crickets.
And then one Wahine from the
Crickets.
crowd goes, hey, you better not be making fun of the Samoans. That was it. We looked at each other.
We really want to do this?
No, I said, he says, do we really want to do this? And I said, we never say one word, and they already knew who we was doing. Wow. So I said, all we got to do is now we have to be able to bring some of the characters onto stage, because not all characters going to be able to make that transition from television to stage.
Right.
You know, Uncle Bijo, Auntie T, the Portuguese.
This was our first ever live.
Wow.
We had never done a live. We weren't even on TV yet. But this was the moment. We sat in the locker room. I remember sitting down on the locker.
That wasn't even a locker room, bro. It was the stairwell, bro. Yeah, like it was the stairwell.
What? We like really going to this?
And then I said, absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah. I said, absolutely.
Bully and Bush.
No.
Yeah,
Bully and Bush. Hey, calm down.
Dad, I'm not angry. Yeah, just
How
that's the turning point right there.
Yeah.
You know, when you ask, you say, well, what did it all start? Right there. Because and then you got to have thick skin. You got to be.
And the thing is with that is, you know, as we started to integrate it into people's babies' luau's, birthday parties, graduation, the thing is with us is we're facilitators of highlighting the family and the people that need to be highlighted. Comedy is just going to be, you know, the mac salad and the parsley of everything. We're going to highlight your family and make your party what it should be in regard to who the person they're throwing the party for.
I love watching that because you guys incorporate the audience into all of your live shows.
Absolutely. And that's the X factor, where we can have a formula, but the X factor gonna be the family. So every performance is going to be different.
And you know what also amazes me about you? You guys are now cultural icons. I call you cultural icons because not only have you created characters that are people familiar with, but phrases. You just, hey, calm down.
No.
People use that.
I'm not angry.
I don't know why I did it, but at one time in my life I had a truck on the back of the tailgate said just buckle loose.
Yeah,
Just buckle loose.
but because everybody
no get nuts.
everybody
nuts.
like buckle loose.
Yeah.
And then some people just say, you know, they always like do the opposite. So we said, hey, no get nuts. Now get nuts.
How many other phrases do you guys think?
What? Double knocks?
What?
Double
knocks. What?
So-
Chauffeurs.
So you get he no care, I no care. We never do that, but it
That was
came
just the
off of-
street
But you-
I lived on.
Yeah.
Hinokea Street.
Yeah.
Well, it's for real. Yeah, Lalai went. He went.
How far more are the Braddahs going to continue? Is this not going to stop? What's the future like?
Well, coming off of this pandemic, we were out of work for quite some time.
we playing catch up
Well,
right now.
For a
this
while,
this
right?
May is our busiest we've been in over a year. So
Over a year, we're
with
talking
graduations,
16 months,
weddings, and stuff. So it's cranking back up. Yeah, and then you know who would have thought? Last year we did our very first drive-by graduations in
Drive-by
a live,
graduation.
Isn't that weird?
and made it work. You know what I mean?
And you know the two characters we do, you know,
Yeah.
me personally, I'm Joy Ferreira.
Yeah.
I'm a part-time ref,
My name is
full-time
Chase
farmer.
Machado.
Yeah, exactly,
referees,
exactly.
we referees.
Yeah, yep.
So we coordinate the cars coming in.
Yeah.
That's how
And we're not
that's
ashamed
how
for chora flag, you know.
Yeah, chora
We
flag.
chora flag, and
He's
if
the
it's
OIA, I'm the ILH. Yeah,
absolutely,
The
you gotta have both representation because without the OIA, there's no ILH. Without the ILH, there's no ILA.
Correct.
You know what I'm saying?
So you guys are continuing to create characters.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Live shows, all these things, a different way of entertaining, and you guys are adapting to that. mahalo, you guys. Mahalo for making time. We're sitting with the Braddahs. This is Tony Silva, James Roche. If you are watching us on YouTube, comment down below, subscribe, ask them questions, let them know, find out where they are.
But they can press the heart.
Is it a heart? Yeah, heart.
Is
You
that
hit
the
the
one?
like
Or is
button.
that Facebook?
I think that's
What?
IG. You can tell we're old.
Yeah, you can tell I know more.
Find James on Facegram.
On the Facegram. Yeah, mainly it's face plant. Yeah.
Oh, MySpace. That's a whole other story.
MySpace.
That was for real.
We can go on, but thank you guys so much for sharing the culture in comedy. And again, like they say, you have to laugh at yourself to laugh at each other, and we're all going to be better through laughter right here on Culture Eyes. Thanks for joining us.
Mahalo.